Now it all started with Texas. Many Americans were living in Texas, but Texas was part of Mexico. And now the Mexicans started to ban further immigration from the United States. Wait, hold on.
I will build a great wall, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my word.
The Texans were already rumbling for independence, and this just made things a whole lot worse when trade with the United States plummeted. Texans couldn't even get their family members over. So Stephen Austin meets with General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna to discuss maybe making Texas its own state. He is immediately shut down. He sends word back to Texas that maybe we should stop planning for an independence movement. But he is arrested when the message is somehow intercepted. To make matters worse, Santa Anna declares himself dictator of Mexico and throws out the Mexican Constitution. Austin gets out of jail, but at this point he is convinced war is unavoidable. The Americans living in Texas declared themselves to be an independent country. In October 1835, Santa Anna had sent soldiers into Texas to put down any rebels. And the first several fights take place in a town called Gonzales, where the Mexican soldiers were supposed to take a Texas-held cannon. But the Texans mockingly adorned it with a flag that says, "Come and take it." A Spanish mission turned into a military outpost. The Texans barricaded themselves into the Alamo, and 5,000 Mexicans led by Santa Anna attacked the fort. The Texans did have cannons, but they did not have gunpowder. They battled for 13 days, but the Texans are eventually overrun. All 137 Texans were killed, including Davy Crockett. Their legacy lived on through the Travis letter.
To the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, fellow citizens and compatriots, I shall never surrender or retreat. Then I call on you in the name of liberty or patriotism, of everything dear to the American character, to come to our aid with all dispatch. The enemy is receiving reinforcements daily and will no doubt increase to 3,000 or 4,000 in 4 to 5 days. If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due to his own honor and that of his country. Victory or death.
"Remember the Alamo" was the war cry when Americans defeated Santa Anna at the Battle of San Juanito. Santa Anna would sign a treaty that forced Mexico to recognize Texas as independent, and the Texans elected Sam Houston as their first president. Texas became the Lone Star Republic because the United States would not let them become a state. Texas wanted to join the Union, but they wanted to come in as a slave state. And this would disrupt the balance between free and slave states. So President Andrew Jackson ignored Texas. Texas is ignored until 1846, when President Polk signs the Oregon Treaty with Britain. This divided the United States and Canada at the 49th parallel. Oregon comes in as a free state, so Texas can come in as a slave state. So why did America fight the Mexican-American War? Simple. They wanted more land. It was manifest destiny. Greed. The Mexican-American War was fought between 1846 and 1848. It marked the first U.S. armed conflict chiefly fought on foreign soil. It pitted a politically divided and military unprepared Mexico against the expansionist-minded administration of the U.S. President James K. Polk believed the United States had a manifest destiny to spread across the continent to the Pacific Ocean. A border skirmish along the Rio Grande started off the fighting and was followed by a series of U.S. victories. When the dust cleared, Mexico had lost about 1/3 of its territory. including nearly all of present-day California, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. Now, California is going to be a problem. Remember that Missouri Compromise? Well, half of California is above that line, and half was below that line. But let's ask California what it wants to be. California wants to be a free state. Well then, I'm about to push the button. Let's bring in Henry Clay for another one of those compromise deals. No problem, guys. We can kick this problem down the road one more time. I have a compromise here. I call it the Compromise of 1850. Good name. Number 1. California gets to be a free state. Right on. Number 2. The slave trade, but not slavery, is to be outlawed in Washington, D.C. Number 3. A stricter fugitive slave law. Yeah, you bring our slaves back to us. Number 4. Popular sovereignty. All future states get to decide for themselves if their state would be free or slave. So yay, no civil war. Well, at least for another 10 years.
Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free. Raised in the woods so he knew every tree. Killed Tim the Bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. Fought single-handed through the Injun War till the Creeks was whipped and the peace was in store. While he was handling this risky chore, made himself a legend forevermore. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.